Dragoons, stand at ease. Stand easy. Relax.
The outgoing commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Cross, will now address the regiment.
Major General Atherton, Brigadier General Cameron, our Colonel of the Regiment, Colonel Russo, Colonel Atherton, our Brigade Commander, Colonel Atherton, Patron Mr. David Batten, Your Worship, Mayor Sweet, distinguished guests, friends and family, Dragoons. You may expect me to say something along the lines that today is a bittersweet day, but I'm not going to do that. Today I'm proud and I'm thankful, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm proud of the Dragoons you see on parade before you, and those Dragoons they represent. Before you are soldiers that have risen to both the everyday and unique challenges of our Army. Soldiers who have been as aggressive as circumstances warranted and as compassionate as they needed to be. Soldiers with an undying spirit. Soldiers of unwavering loyalty. Soldiers who are true professionals. Their accomplishments are many. Indeed, they're too numerous to review here in this heat. Suffice it to say that they undertook their missions and tasks with vigor, and they completed them in style in true Dragoon fashion. On their collective behalf, I am thankful. I'm thankful of our brigade commander for his clear direction and the freedom of action necessary to train the regiment as I saw fit. I am thankful to Major General Atherton, our most recent Colonel Commandant, for his sage advice and guidance, for having told me that if I thought something was a good idea, then it was his duty to support it, and that he did in spades. I am thankful of our colonels of the regiment, both Brigadier General Dean and Colonel Russo, for having been such incredible supporters. I'm thankful of our many senior serving Dragoons and our regimental colonel for their continued involvement, advice, and guidance. I'm thankful of the many former commanding officers. There are 5 here in attendance today, and regimental sergeant majors. There are 4 here in attendance today who continue to come back and to give back to this great regiment. I'm thankful for the opportunity granted me to work with an absolutely outstanding soldier, the one that 95% of Dragoons aspire to be, our regimental sergeant major, Chief Warrant Officer Bill Richards. I'm thankful to Miss Muggsy Boland, who is the glue that holds our regimental family together. I'm especially thankful to my wife Connie and our children Megan and Hayden. They've been ardent supporters and forgiving at times, all the times when I've either been away or simply occupied or even preoccupied with things regimental. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dragoon family is strong, and it is all-encompassing. I know that it will continue to be strong and supportive under the care of Lieutenant Colonel Atherton. He is a true professional, a good friend, and there is no doubt in my mind that he will be an incredible commanding officer. Andy, I wish you and Victoria and the girls all the best in the coming 2 years. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here to celebrate the passage of another milestone in the history of the Royal Canadian Dragoons. I hope you enjoy the rest of the parade. Now, Andy, you and I have got some paperwork we got to sign so you can get on with the business of commanding this great regiment. Thank you very much.
We will now commence with the signing ceremony. Colonel Colonel Atherton, Commander, 2 Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group, will now preside over the signing ceremony that will officially transfer the command of the Royal Regiment from Lieutenant Colonel Cross to Lieutenant Colonel Atherton, witnessed by the Colonel of the Regiment.
No stranger to blackberry. The best days of my life. It's not yours anymore, that's why.
Not on his name.
I think one of them says P.O. Mason on it.
Yeah, of course, sir.
Is it? Congratulations. Okay, sir, we can grab a photo with all of us. Okay, where do you want? No, please come in. Absolutely. You'd be right where it's at.
Ceremonial change of the heat off symbolizes the handover of the roles and responsibilities of the commanding officer of the Royal Canadian Dragoons, from Lieutenant Colonel Colonel Cross to the Colonel of the Regiment to the Lieutenant Colonel Commander Atherton.
TQ! Sir!
Today, they will also mark the passing of the responsibility for the care and control of the heat off from Master Warrant Officer Orr to Master Warrant Officer Beck. Commander of 2 Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group, Colonel Atherton, will now arrest the parade.
Okay, the first thing the regiment's going to invest in is a wireless microphone. Andy, we talked about this last night. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Bob Sweet, Colonel of the Regiment Russo, patron of the regiment, Mr. David Batten, General Addy, General Campbell, family and friends of Dragoons everywhere, and most importantly, the soldiers of the Royal Canadian Dragoons that are on parade today. First, let me compliment you on your exceptional turnout and the performance of your drill today. As much as we might not like to admit it, it is part of being a soldier. And what I've seen today, although I only looked at the first rank, so you'll indulge me if I say a few things a little longer today, is a direct reflection of your professionalism as a soldier. And I've served way back in 1892, the original 1st Canadian Dragoons, had to prepare their uniforms, shine their boots, get their leather ready, and practice drill. But that's probably something like you they didn't like to do, because they were mission-focused like you, and they were warriors on the battlefield and not soldiers on a parade square. As your brigade commander, I'm very happy to say that when I think of Dragoons, I think of fit, motivated, and highly versatile soldiers, and I picture you cammed up in covert observation posts, looking forward across the battle area, or dusty and dirty and grimy from hours on the road, driving around route reconnaissance. And so while you look great today, I won't lie and say I prefer you looking the other way. Dirty and... Okay, someone can give our comrade a hand here. So today is another significant day in the great history of the Royal Canadian Dragoons, Canada's oldest cavalry regiment. We mark the change of command of the commanding officer, and as I've said on other change of command parades, today is not about the CO, incoming or outgoing, it's about the regiment. And it's about what this regiment has accomplished under his command. As your brigade commander, I've been impressed time and time again with your mission focus, your warrior spirit, and the pride you take in doing what it is you do so well, and that's being armed reconnaissance soldiers. Your list of accomplishments are long. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but there are a few I do want to highlight for our friends and families of the regiment who don't get to see you as often as we do. First, you returned from Afghanistan, southern Afghanistan, from combat operations, and reformed this regiment into 3 reconnaissance squadrons, and most recently, taken back C Squadron from Tuarshar Battle Group into the regiment. You've participated in exercise after exercise, mounted, dismounted, winter, summer, both here at home in Canada and the United States. I've watched you charge across Ontario in your vehicles and go dismounted down in Arizona with 3 RCR and a light infantry roll. You performed magnificently in the first post-Afghanistan large-scale exercise at the Canadian Movement Training Center out in Wainwright. I watched in awe as the RCD Battle Group, which brought in a tank squadron from that other armoured regiment to our west, and a British light infantry company, and you came together as a cohesive team and did everything I asked you to do and more. You've completed every assigned task, from running our brigade winter sports competition, deploying to Cochrane as part of Ontario's immediate reaction unit, to showcasing Canada and Canada's army to a group of highly influential and strategically important Chinese officers that came to visit Canada for the first time, and you showed those Chinese officers what Canadian soldiers are all about. I could go on and on and on. You've also embraced a culture of fitness, and that, I'm sorry, with all due respect, has not always been associated with black hats. Nearly 100 of you participated in Ironman last year. There's more training this year. And the Brigade Sergeant Major and I have suffered or survived, I think, a couple of PT sessions with you. But it's very clear to see that you take your fitness seriously, not only being fit to fight, but fit to live a long and healthy life. And I fully recognize that these successes are not exclusively in the domain of those who wear the Dragoon cap badge. There are the cooks, the maintainers, the signalers, the QM staff. And of course, there are those who don't wear a uniform that contribute to the successes. Colonel Cross mentioned one that I will mention again, and that's Ms. Muggsy Bowling. Muggsy, thank you for everything that you do for this regiment, for this brigade, and this army. You're a special person, we all recognize that. And so while I said today wasn't necessarily about the commanding officer or officers, it has to be in some way. For it's the CO that sets the tone of this regiment, both as he leads it and sets the face of the regiment to the rest of the world who watches it. He is ultimately responsible for the regiment's actions, both good and bad. Lieutenant Colonel Cross has served the Royal Canadian Dragoons exceptionally well. Those Dragoons on parade, those Dragoons on ERE, extra-regimental employment, those Dragoons who have retired from service, he has served you all exceptionally well. As a unit commanding officer, I will say unequivocally that Lieutenant Colonel Cross is one of the best that I have ever come across in my entire career. He is a warrior. He is a warrior, truly a master of his craft. A tactician, he knows how to fight armor reconnaissance, and everything else on the battlefield. He is intelligent, he's honest, he's decisive. And I want to assure all of you on parade here today that every decision that he made in command of this regiment, he had your welfare first and foremost in his mind. However, also let there be no doubt that he was mission-focused and achieving mission success was the first thing that he had to accomplish. As Commander 2 Brigade, I've been fortunate to have been exposed to many aspects of the Dragoon regimental family. It is clear to me that the CO of this unit is the focal point for so much. Lieutenant Colonel Cross was as exceptional in his role as the CO of the Dragoons from the regimental family perspective as he was as the commanding officer of this unit. That's why I deliberately said at the start of these comments that he served all Dragoons exceptionally well. Daryl, it's been a privilege, it's been an honor to serve with you, to learn from you, to learn from your soldiers, and I thank you for your honest and tactful, behind closed doors, exchanges that we had across the way. And I thank you for the leadership you provide this regiment. On behalf of all the members of 2CMBG, I wish to give you and Connie and Megan and Hayden all the best, wish you the best for the future. And to Connie in particular, where are you, Connie? Oh, there you are. Thank you. A lot of long hours, a lot of time away, a lot of sacrifices, but he's home now. Thanks for letting him come out to play with us. Just make sure he does his French homework now. Now, I must say for my first encounter with Lieutenant Colonel Cross, it was clearly evident that he and RSM Richards not only were a command team, they were the example of a command team. I know that every decision made by the CO was made only after a healthy dose of experience, wisdom, and common sense from RSM Richards. Regardless of the final decision, though, Lieutenant Colonel Cross and RSM Richards were unified in thought, purpose, and action to move forward. RSM Richards, thank you for your service to Lieutenant Colonel Cross during his time in command and your service to the regiment. I know you'll provide the same stellar support to Lieutenant Colonel Atherton as he starts his journey as a CO. Andrew, I know, having heard all these accolades and praise and all the great things about Daryl now, you're going, oh yeah, how do I follow this? Well, don't worry. Your regiment, and in fact the commander of the Army, has the confidence in you that you have been selected to command and have the honor to command this fine regiment. This selection was based on your performance, your experience, and who you are as an officer. We have every confidence that you will lead this regiment proudly, and your soldiers, those in front of you today, will serve you well. A wise man once said to me, just because you change the guy calling the stroke doesn't necessarily change the course of the ship. I'm not sure how that works sometimes, but I think they get what I mean. I wish you all the very best. I look forward to soldiering with you, and I know you'll do a great job. Victoria and the kids, nice to see you back in Petawawa. Your dad's going to be busy for a little while, but we know that he's going to be home once in a while, and it'll be a good time. Thank you for supporting him and for supporting the Dragoons. So in closing, although I'm not a Dragoon, I will say it certainly is a fine day to be surrounded by them. Thank you.
The incoming commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Atherton, will now address the parade.
Before I begin, I was told by a wise man behind me to the guys on parade to wiggle a little bit. It's terribly hot, so just we don't have anybody falling down, and so we don't have any sort of issues on parade. General Addy, General Cameron, Mayor Sweet, Colonel of the Regiment, Colonel Atherton. I look around and I see a large number of people here today, and I'm truly impressed by the number of people that have come out to see an event between Colonel Cross and myself. It really is. I made a special day between the two of us fantastic by your presence here, so I thank you very much for coming here today. I know a lot of you have traveled a long way, so again, I thank you very much for coming. But first and foremost, though, I'd like to publicly thank and congratulate Lieutenant Colonel Cross for the outstanding work he and Mr. Richards have done over the last 2 years. This became very apparent to me during the handover period that the regiment is in fantastic shape, and morale amongst the soldiers has never been higher. I'm inheriting a regiment that has been completely rebuilt after a very busy time period with a renewed sense of purpose and identity. They've achieved a rare standard of excellence that is completely contributed to the leadership provided by Colonel Cross. On a more personal note, though, Darrell, I'd like to thank you for your honesty, your friendship, and your very sage advice that has made this transition possible. You've gone to great lengths to welcome me back, once again, back into the regimental family, and have bent over backwards to make sure I'm comfortable and have everything I need to carry on where you left off. So again, on a personal note, I thank you very much for that. Thanks. I'm extremely proud to assume command of this regiment, but at the same time, very humbled by the faith that the chain of command has seen in granting me this responsibility. I'm committed to continuing to serve its soldiers and the Army to the same extent to those that have come before me. I draw great strength from their past accomplishments, and I remain in awe of their history of service and sacrifice. I'm immensely proud now to be part of that long and rich history. To the soldiers of the regiment, both those that are on parade and those that are gathered around behind me, it's great to be back home again. Once again, back in the regimental fold and reunited with a very large number of you that I've served with at various stages of our respective careers. I did note, though, during this last week and walking around that there are a very large number of you who I do not yet know. I'm looking forward to getting to know you better very shortly and earning the same amount of trust and respect that you've given to Colonel Cross. Finally, no one does anything alone. I'm very fortunate to have a very patient and very supportive family. To Vic and the girls, the next few years will continue to be busy ones, and I continue to thank you for your understanding and commitment. I would never be able to achieve the things I aspire to do without your constant support, love, and encouragement. I'm very excited by the challenges of the next 2 years. This is a great day to be part of this regiment and a great day to be a Dragoon. Thank you very much.